Chapter 1: The Truth About Wealth That Nobody Tells You. Most people spend their entire lives working hard. Waking up early, staying late, giving their best years to a job. And still dying with nothing left behind. Not because they were lazy. Not because they were unintelligent. But because nobody ever taught them the real rules of wealth. The school system was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to make you useful. Useful to companies, useful to governments, useful to systems that benefit from your obedience and your labor. They taught you history, mathematics, literature. But they never taught you how money works. They never showed you how to make money work for you. They never explained the difference between an asset and a liability. They never whispered the secret that the wealthy have known for centuries. That secret is simple but profound. The poor and middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them. This single idea, if truly understood and applied, will change the entire direction of your financial life. But understanding it is only the beginning. Because knowledge without action is simply expensive entertainment. In this journey together we are going to go deep. We are going to explore the mindset of the wealthy. The strategies of the self-made. The habits of those who built fortunes from nothing. And the specific steps you can begin taking today. Regardless of where you are starting from. Because here is what I need you to understand before we go further. Your current financial situation is not your final destination. It is simply your starting point. And every great fortune in history began at a starting point that looked nothing like the finish line. Chapter 2: The Wealth Mindset. Before you can build wealth in the real world, you must first build it in your mind. Because the outer world of finance is always a reflection of the inner world of thought. Most people carry what psychologists call a scarcity mindset. They believe that money is limited. That there is only so much to go around. That for them to have more someone else must have less. This belief is not only factually wrong. It is financially devastating. The truth is that wealth is created, not divided. Every invention, every business, every solution to a human problem creates new wealth that did not exist before. The smartphone in your pocket created entire industries. Millions of jobs, and trillions of dollars in value. From nothing but an idea in someone's mind. This is the first mental shift you must make. From believing wealth is scarce to understanding wealth is created. And if it can be created, then you can create it. The second mental shift is moving from a consumer mindset to a producer mindset. Consumers spend their energy acquiring things. Producers spend their energy creating things. Consumers ask, what can I buy today? Producers ask, what can I build today? Consumers watch others become wealthy with confusion and envy. Producers study those success stories with curiosity and intention. Every dollar you spend is a vote for someone else's wealth. Every dollar you invest is a vote for your own. Begin asking yourself with every financial decision. Am I being a consumer or a producer right now? The third mental shift is understanding delayed gratification. The ability to resist immediate pleasure for greater future reward is perhaps the single most powerful predictor of financial success. The famous Stanford marshmallow experiment showed that children who could wait for a second marshmallow went on to achieve significantly better outcomes in life. Financially, academically, and socially. Wealthy people drive used cars while building businesses. They live in modest homes while acquiring income-producing assets. They say no to vacations in order to say yes to financial freedom. Not forever, but during the building phase. And here is the beautiful truth. The sacrifices of the building phase are temporary. But the rewards of financial freedom are permanent. Chapter 3: The Income Problem and How to Solve It. Most people have an income problem disguised as an expense problem. They think if they could just cut more costs, stop buying coffee, cancel subscriptions, clip coupons, they would eventually become wealthy. But you cannot save your way to super wealth. You can only invest your way there. Frugality is a virtue, but it is not a strategy. Frugality preserves capital, it does not create it. To become truly wealthy you must solve the income problem. You must find ways to dramatically increase what flows in. There are only 3 ways to increase your income. You can earn more from your job. You can create additional income streams. Or you can build something that generates income without your direct labor. The third option is where real wealth lies. And it has a name: passive income. Passive income does not mean you do nothing. It means you do the work once and get paid many times. An author writes a book once and earns royalties for decades. A software developer builds an app once and earns from every download. A real estate investor buys a property once and collects rent every month. A content creator produces a video once and earns from every view forever. The goal is to build systems that generate income while you sleep, while you vacation, while you spend time with your family, while you are doing anything other than trading your time for money. But before passive income comes active income. And your active income must be maximized and managed strategically. If you are employed, become the most valuable person in your organization. Not because your employer deserves your excellence, but because excellence opens doors. Excellence builds reputation. Excellence creates leverage. And leverage is the foundation of all great wealth. Chapter 4: The Magic of Multiple Income Streams. Study any genuinely wealthy person and you will find one consistent pattern. They do not have one source of income. They have many. The average millionaire has 7 income streams. 7 different sources of money flowing into their life simultaneously. So that if one dries up, the others sustain them. This is not accidental, it is intentional. Wealthy people build income streams the way engineers build bridges. With redundancy, with strength, with purpose. The 7 most common income streams are these. Earned income from employment or self-employment. Profit income from buying and selling things. Interest income from lending money or holding bonds. Dividend income from owning stocks that pay distributions. Rental income from owning physical or intellectual property. Capital gains income from selling appreciated assets. And royalty income from intellectual property. You do not need all 7 immediately. But you should be building toward multiple streams from wherever you stand today. The fastest path for most people is this sequence. First, maximize your earned income by becoming exceptional at your work. Second, use that earned income to invest in assets that generate passive income. Third, reinvest all passive income into more assets. Repeat this cycle with increasing speed until your passive income exceeds your living expenses. That crossing point, where passive income surpasses expenses, is the moment of true financial freedom. It is the moment you become truly wealthy. Because from that point forward, your time is your own forever. Chapter 5: Investing, the Vehicle of Wealth. If income is the fuel of wealth, investing is the vehicle. Without a vehicle, even the most abundant fuel goes nowhere. Most people are afraid of investing. They have heard horror stories of people losing everything. They believe the stock market is a casino. They think real estate is only for the already wealthy. They assume investing is complicated, dangerous, reserved for experts. All of these beliefs are both common and catastrophically expensive. Investing is not gambling. Gambling creates no value and has a negative expected return. Investing provides capital to businesses and assets that create value, and shares that value creation with the investor. Over the last 100 years, the stock market has returned an average of 10% per year. Meaning every dollar invested has doubled approximately every 7 years. Consider this. If you invest $1,000 at age 25 and never add another cent, by age 65 that single $1,000 will have grown to $45,000. Now imagine investing $1,000 every single month, starting at age 25. By age 65 at 10% average returns, you would have over $6 million. This is not magic, it is mathematics. It is the compound interest that Albert Einstein allegedly called the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who does not pays it. The stock market is not the only vehicle. Real estate has created more millionaires in history than perhaps any other asset class, because it combines multiple wealth-building mechanisms simultaneously. Appreciation as property values rise over time. Rental income as tenants pay you monthly. Leverage as banks allow you to control large assets with small down payments. Tax advantages as governments incentivize property ownership. And inflation protection as real values rise with the economy. A single rental property purchased wisely can generate thousands of dollars per month in passive income, while simultaneously appreciating in value. and providing tax deductions that reduce your overall tax burden. Chapter 6, The Business Path to Super Wealth. If you want to become merely rich, investing may be enough. If you want to become super rich, you almost certainly need to build a business. Look at the wealthiest people in the world. Elon Musk built Tesla and SpaceX. Jeff Bezos built Amazon. Bill Gates built Microsoft. Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook. Warren Buffett built Berkshire Hathaway. None of them became super wealthy by working for someone else. None of them reached the highest levels of wealth through investing alone. They built businesses that solved massive problems for massive numbers of people. And in doing so created massive amounts of value. Here is the fundamental economic truth. Your income is determined by how many people you serve. And how well you serve them. A plumber who serves 50 homes a month earns a plumber's income. A plumbing company that serves 5,000 homes a month earns a business owner's income. A software platform that serves 5 million users a month earns a technology entrepreneur's income. Scale is the multiplier of wealth. And business is the greatest vehicle for scale. You do not need a revolutionary idea to start a business. Most successful businesses are not inventions. They are improvements. They are existing products or services delivered better, faster, cheaper, more conveniently, or more beautifully. The question to ask is not what has never been done, but what is being done badly that I could do better. Chapter 7, Finding Your Wealth Vehicle. Not every path to wealth is the same. And the path that works best for you depends on your unique combination of skills, resources, personality, and circumstances. Some people are builders, they thrive creating businesses from nothing. Some people are investors, they thrive analyzing and allocating capital. Some people are creators, they thrive producing content, art, or intellectual property. Some people are professionals, they thrive developing rare expertise that commands premium compensation. The key is to identify which category fits your natural wiring. And then go deep rather than wide. The biggest financial mistake most people make is spreading themselves too thin. Trying a little bit of everything and mastering nothing. Dabbling in stocks while starting a business. While trying to flip houses while building a YouTube channel. Super wealth rarely comes from being average at many things. It almost always comes from being exceptional at one thing. Building deep expertise, deep reputation, deep relationships in one domain. And then leveraging that depth into wealth. Find your vehicle, commit to it completely. And then drive it with everything you have. Chapter 8, The Wealth Habits. Behind every great fortune there is a set of daily habits. So consistent and so disciplined that they seem almost boring from the outside. Wealthy people wake up early. Not because suffering before sunrise is virtuous, but because the morning hours before the world demands their attention are the most productive hours of the day. They use those hours to think clearly, to plan strategically, to learn continuously, and to work on their most important priorities. Before the urgent drowns out the important. Wealthy people read relentlessly. Warren Buffett reads for 6 hours every single day. Bill Gates reads 50 books every year. Elon Musk educated himself about rocket science through books. Not entertainment, not social media, not news. But books, reports, studies, ideas. The kind of deep reading that builds knowledge. That compounds over years the same way money compounds. Wealthy people protect their time ferociously. They understand that time is the only truly non-renewable resource. Money lost can be recovered, time lost never can. They say no to almost everything so they can say yes fully to the few things that actually move them toward their goals. Wealthy people maintain their health obsessively. Not out of vanity but out of practicality. A sick body produces a foggy mind. And a foggy mind makes poor decisions. Poor decisions destroy wealth faster than any market crash. Wealthy people build and nurture relationships intentionally. They understand that your network is your net worth. That every opportunity, every deal, every breakthrough comes through another human being. And that the relationships you cultivate today are the opportunities you will harvest tomorrow. Chapter 9, The Tax Strategy of the Wealthy. Here is something the financial education system never teaches. The wealthy do not just earn differently from everyone else. They are taxed differently. And understanding this difference is worth potentially millions over the course of a financial lifetime. The tax code in virtually every country was written by wealthy people for wealthy people. It rewards investment, business ownership, and risk-taking, while penalizing pure employment income. Consider that in the United States, the highest marginal income tax rate is 37%. But the long-term capital gains tax rate is only 20%. And for lower income earners it is 0. This means a person who earns $100,000 from a job pays significantly more in taxes than a person who earns $100,000 from selling appreciated investments. The wealthy structure their financial lives to earn as much as possible through capital gains, dividends, and business income, and as little as possible through direct employment income. They use legal entities like corporations and trusts to access tax deductions unavailable to individual earners. They hire accountants and tax strategists not as an expense, but as one of their highest return investments. You do not need to become a tax expert, but you need to understand enough to ask the right questions, and to surround yourself with people who do have that expertise. Chapter 10: The Debt Strategy of the Wealthy. Most people are taught that all debt is bad. Pay off your debt as fast as possible. Avoid borrowing at all costs. Live completely debt-free. This advice comes from a good place, but it is incomplete. And incomplete financial advice is often expensive advice. There are two kinds of debt: bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is borrowed money used to purchase depreciating assets or consumable experiences. A car loan for a vehicle that loses value every day. A credit card balance for a vacation already taken. Consumer debt for electronics, clothing, entertainment. This debt works against you, it destroys wealth. Good debt is borrowed money used to purchase appreciating assets or income-producing investments. A mortgage on a rental property that generates more income than the mortgage costs. A business loan that funds growth-generating returns far exceeding the interest rate. This debt works for you, it builds wealth. The wealthy use leverage, which is borrowed money, as one of their primary wealth-building tools. They borrow at low interest rates to acquire assets, generating higher returns. And the spread between those two numbers is profit. This is how real estate investors control millions of dollars in property, with hundreds of thousands in their own capital. This is how private equity firms generate extraordinary returns. This is how sophisticated investors amplify their results. The goal is not to avoid all debt. The goal is to eliminate bad debt completely, and to use good debt strategically and intelligently. Chapter 11: The Real Estate Path. Real estate deserves its own chapter, because it has been the most consistent path to wealth. For the longest period of human history, land and property have intrinsic value. People will always need somewhere to live, work, and operate. And the supply of desirable land is fundamentally limited, while the demand for it generally grows with population and prosperity. The entry point to real estate wealth for most people is the house hack. Buy a small multi-unit property, live in one unit, rent out the others, and let your tenants pay your mortgage. This single strategy executed by a 25-year-old today could result in complete financial freedom by 40. After the house hack comes the rental portfolio. Each property acquired adds another stream of monthly income. Another asset appreciating on your behalf. Another tenant building your equity with their rent payments. Real estate also offers tax advantages unavailable in most other investments. Depreciation allows you to deduct the theoretical declining value of a building, even while it actually appreciates in market value. This creates paper losses that offset real income, reducing your tax bill significantly. The 1031 exchange in the United States allows you to sell an appreciated property and roll the gains into a larger property without paying capital gains tax, allowing your wealth to compound without the drag of taxation. Real estate is not passive in the beginning. It requires education, effort, and courage. But once established, it becomes one of the most reliable passive income machines ever invented.